The doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed for how long?
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's time in office has been marred by serious allegations of misconduct and taxpayer fraud. Recent revelations have painted a troubling picture of her administration, highlighting extravagant spending at the expense of the town. One glaring example is a lavish $555,000 party she organized, which featured performances by artists like Wyatt and Jay Holiday, who were paid $30,000 and $20,000 respectively for just 3-minute sets. On top of that, Henyard's administration spent an additional $36,000 on sound equipment, comedians, and even bouncy houses costing taxpayers $6,600, despite only 70 people attending the event. This reckless spending has sparked widespread outrage among residents, with former trustee Valor Stubbs condemning the event as a self-promotional stunt. Concerned citizen Jennifer Roberts also voiced her anger, criticizing the clear misuse of public funds. The situation took a darker turn when former ally-turned-whistleblower Carmen Carlisle came forward with damning evidence of financial mismanagement. Carlisle's testimony, supported by a pile of receipts, revealed how Henyard's reckless financial decisions drained Dalton's funds over a 2-year period. The town's economic decline under Henyard's leadership, compounded by her lavish lifestyle, funded by taxpayer money, has ignited fury among residents. Accusations have surfaced that Henyard used public funds to pay for personal security details, extravagant trips, and a lifestyle that resembled that of a Hollywood celebrity, all while Dalton's finances spiraled out of control. The FBI is now involved, conducting a thorough investigation into Henyard's activities. Federal agents are now examining not only Mayor Henyard's financial transactions, but also her campaign funds, business ventures, and political ties. The investigation has expanded to include individuals connected to Henyard, with authorities suspecting that others may have played a role in the alleged corruption. Despite the increasing pressure, Henyard has continued with her official duties, seemingly unfazed by the growing investigation. This detachment has only fueled public frustration, as it appeared she was oblivious to the struggles of the very people she was elected to serve. Activists like Brittany Norwood have expressed their belief that the FBI's intervention, though long overdue, is finally addressing the concerns of the town's residents. The investigation into Henyard's alleged corruption grew more complex when whistleblower Carmen Carlisle revealed a shocking first-hand account of the mayor's misconduct. According to Carlisle, Henyard's lavish spending and manipulation of public funds over the past 2 years had left Dalton in severe financial turmoil. As federal agents pieced together the evidence, they uncovered an extensive network of corruption linking Henyard to several of her political allies. Dalton residents, once unaware of the scale of the financial mismanagement, were now forced to confront the unsettling reality that many of the people they trusted might have been complicit in the scandal. Henyard's downfall took a dramatic turn when she voluntarily turned herself in to federal authorities. Her sudden surrender shocked the community, leaving residents to question her motives. For months, Henyard had maintained a glamorous public image, seemingly indifferent to the mounting scandal, but now she found herself in federal custody. Legal experts suggest that her decision to surrender may be part of a larger. Henyard's decision to surrender is seen by some as a strategy to secure a more lenient sentence by potentially implicating others involved in the alleged scams. If true, this would mark a major shift in the case, as Henyard, once thought to be untouchable, now faces the real possibility of legal consequences. Her surrender has sparked hope among Dalton's residents that justice may finally be served, but it also serves as a harsh reminder of how the town's financial mismanagement spiraled out of control under her leadership. With federal charges looming, the people of Dalton are left to pick up the pieces of a town devastated by Henyard's actions. The financial collapse has been accompanied by a growing mistrust of local leadership, leaving Dalton in need of a comprehensive effort to restore both its finances and public confidence. The long-term effects of Henyard's behavior are still unfolding, and the investigation into her financial dealings is far from over. Federal officials are continuing to examine her spending habits, business connections, and influence over the town's financial management. As more information surfaces, it's clear that Henyard's rise and fall is far from finished. The public's demand for justice is stronger than ever, with many hoping the investigation will lead to greater accountability in local government. Despite the obstacles ahead, some residents are starting to believe that there is a path to rebuilding the community and restoring trust in its leadership. For others, however, the damage is done, and the road to recovery seems long and uncertain. It remains unclear whether the scandal surrounding Henyard's administration will lead to meaningful reforms in Dalton's government or simply become another troubling chapter in the town's history. Henyard's financial mismanagement, wasteful spending, and self-serving behavior have left Dalton in disarray. What was once seen as a powerful and affluent mayor's office has now become a symbol of corruption and reckless governance. Her fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, and the people of Dalton are left to reflect on how their once promising town reached this point. Reports suggest that Henyard's financial irresponsibility was not a sudden occurrence, but rather the result of years of poor decisions and self-interest that ultimately caught up with her. Henyard's once celebrated leadership has now been overshadowed by the full exposure of her financial mismanagement. One particularly shocking revelation details how she allegedly spent $440,000 on Amazon in a single day, highlighting the vast scale of the financial crisis she oversaw. Dalton's economic collapse was so severe that the town had to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Leo to help clean up the mess left in Henyard's wake. This unprecedented move underscores just how dire Dalton's financial situation had become under her leadership. As if the situation wasn't bleak enough, the Illinois State Comptroller had to intervene to prevent Dalton from losing $135,000 in vital funding, delivering a devastating blow to the town's already precarious finances. Even after Henyard's resignation and voluntary surrender to federal authorities, Dalton continues to grapple with the fallout from her alleged actions. The situation has only grown more complex, with legal challenges now emerging for those who refuse to cooperate with the investigation. Reports have surfaced of wrongful termination lawsuits filed against individuals who questioned Henyard's decisions or resisted her authority, further adding to the ongoing turmoil and frustration among Dalton's residents. Many feel betrayed by the very leaders they elected to serve them. As the investigation progresses, there is hope that accountability will be achieved, but many residents remain doubtful about the possibility of meaningful reform. Henyard's reckless spending and self-serving behavior have left an indelible mark on Dalton, and the path to recovery seems uncertain. Dalton is facing a long and difficult road to recovery, following the damage done under Mayor Henyard's administration. The financial crisis she created, coupled with the deep erosion of trust in local government, has left the town in a precarious position. Once hopeful for a brighter future under Henyard's leadership, Dalton residents now struggle to rebuild their community, with millions of dollars missing and the town's finances in disarray. While the FBI's investigation may bring some sense of justice, the wounds caused by Henyard's actions will take much longer to heal. Her fall from grace serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the critical need to hold public officials accountable. Even after Henyard's resignation and surrender to federal authorities, Dalton continues to grapple with the fallout from her alleged actions. The town remains in crisis, as the financial collapse has been, compounded by disturbing allegations of abuse, corruption, and even sexual misconduct during her time in office. In an attempt to deflect blame, Henyard's administration has made counter-accusations, but these efforts have done little to quell the growing outrage among residents. The latest legal challenge comes in the form of a lawsuit filed by Boone Trish, a former employee of Henyard's, which adds another layer of legal turmoil to her already embattled tenure. The lawsuit has come to symbolize the toxic, authoritarian leadership style Henyard is accused of fostering, one that created an atmosphere of fear and intimidation within the town's administration. The ensuing lawsuits, public condemnations, and criminal charges paint a grim picture of a mayor's office defined by abuse of power and corruption. Beyond financial mismanagement, troubling claims have emerged of sexual misconduct during official city visits, with allegations of sexual assault and intimidation aimed at employees who challenged Henyard's authority. These new revelations have shattered her once polished public image, replacing it with a portrait of exploitation, corruption, and abuse. For Dalton's residents, the sight of Henyard in handcuffs has been a moment of vindication. They have long suffered under her leadership, which many now refer to as an era of doom. Her arrest symbolizes the long-awaited arrival of justice for a community devastated by years of neglect, financial ruin, and exploitation. However, while Henyard's surrender marks a significant step toward accountability, it also raises many unanswered questions. Some suspect her decision to turn herself in is part of a calculated strategy to manipulate the legal system in her favor, possibly negotiating a more lenient settlement or protecting others involved in the alleged corruption. These suspicions have only intensified concerns about the integrity of the legal process and the lingering influence Henyard may still exert. Given her extended tenure as mayor, many residents are left wondering if true justice will ever be served. With corruption seemingly embedded within the local government, there is growing doubt about whether Henyard will face the full consequences of her actions. The community, long betrayed by the very leader they once trusted, is now focused on rebuilding and demanding transparency and fairness. While Henyard's surrender has not provided the sense of closure that many hoped for, the residents of Dalton remain resolute in their determination to reclaim their town. Despite the overwhelming psychological toll of Henyard's alleged misconduct, the financial devastation she left behind, and the long road to recovery, there is a collective sense of resolve. The path to rehabilitation will not be easy or quick, but the community is committed to confronting the corruption and rebuilding from the damage Henyard's rule has caused. The financial wreckage caused by Henyard's extravagant spending has left Dalton in a dire state. The process of untangling the corruption will demand a strong commitment to accountability and reform in local governance. Moving forward, the people of Dalton must ensure that future leaders adhere to higher standards of integrity and transparency. This isn't just about promises of change, but about taking concrete steps to prioritize the well-being of the community over personal gain. Dalton now stands at a critical crossroads, where the lessons learned from Henyard's downfall must guide the creation of a more responsible and accountable administration, one that works to restore trust in local government. While Henyard's arrest and public disgrace have not immediately solved Dalton's deep-seated issues, they have opened the door to a much-needed opportunity for the community to heal and rebuild. Once a town plagued by scandal and deception, Dalton now has the chance to build a future rooted in honesty, transparency, and ethical governance. The road ahead will undoubtedly be challenging, and the scars left by Henyard's leadership may never fully fade, but they will serve as a constant reminder of the importance of vigilance, accountability, and the necessity of demanding ethical conduct from those in power. Whether Dalton can fully recover from this crisis depends largely on the resilience of its residents. They must be determined to restore the integrity of their community, fight for genuine reform, and hold their leaders accountable. While the legal proceedings against Henyard are ongoing, the revelations that have come to light thus far paint a damning picture of her time in office. The full extent of her actions, both financially and personally, is still being uncovered. But one thing is clear: the people of Dalton are ready to reclaim their future and begin the arduous task of rebuilding the community they once cherished. The possibility of a fresh start for Dalton, built on accountability and collective action, is within reach. The town's future can be shaped by its determination to rise from the ashes of scandal, but only if the residents remain committed to justice and reform. The lessons learned from Henyard's rule must be applied to create a government that truly serves the people, rather than exploiting them. Henyard's downfall marked the end of an era defined by corruption, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power. Yet, it also signals the beginning of a new chapter for Dalton, one where the community must confront the lingering effects of her actions and rebuild from the damage caused by years of deception and misrule. The question now is whether Dalton can seize this moment of reckoning and turn it into an opportunity for meaningful change. For years, the town was mired in scandal after scandal, with residents struggling to cope with the fallout from Henyard's leadership. Now, as they strive to move forward, they must confront the weight of financial ruin, emotional trauma, and widespread corruption. Many wonder if they can ever fully escape the shadow of her misconduct, but there is hope that through unity and determination, Dalton can emerge from this crisis stronger than ever before. The scars left by Henyard's rule may be deep, but they are not permanent. With resolve, Dalton can rebuild, regain its integrity, and move toward a brighter future. Henyard's rule may never fully fade, but it will stand as a powerful reminder of the crucial need for accountability, oversight, and ethical leadership. As Dalton moves forward, it is vital that the town remains vigilant, committed to justice, and focused on building a future grounded in honesty and integrity. The path to recovery will be long and challenging, But the people of Dalton are no longer willing to let their town be defined by the mistakes of the past. The Henyard scandal has exposed the depths of corruption within the local government, but it has also sparked a collective desire for change. The lessons learned from this painful chapter must now guide Dalton toward a brighter, more transparent future. While the legal proceedings are far from over, Dalton is moving closer to uncovering the full extent of Henyard's actions and the lasting damage she caused. With each new revelation, the town is inching closer to reclaiming its future and its reputation. The goal is clear: to ensure that no future administration can exploit the town's people in the same way Henyard did. The road ahead will be tough, but Dalton's resilience and unwavering determination to rebuild its community will shape its future. The fall of a corrupt leader marks the first step toward reclaiming Dalton's promise, preventing the mistakes of the past from repeating, and creating a government that works for the people. Though the journey will be challenging, the people of Dalton are ready to rise from the ashes of scandal and build a stronger, more transparent future for all. As the town moves forward, one thing is certain: the people of Dalton will never again allow their leadership to betray their trust. The lessons of the past will guide them as they work to ensure that the town's future is one of accountability, integrity, and community-focused governance.